It's the action card. It's the 4 clubs on the turn.
20.
20,000.
He also knows, he makes this bet. What's it going to be on the river?
Well, he did make the call. Pot is nearly 64,000 chips. Ivy with the ace high flush. Feldman with the king high flush.
I'm all in.
All in.
Phil over betting the pot.
Unbelievable. Turn of events here. Now, Feldman has to know that Ivy either has pretty much the nuts or nothing at all, right?
Exactly.
Pot is 165,000.
Cool.
Oh, and he calls!
He makes the call. I've seen him make a few calls in the past. I wasn't surprised that he did it. That's a big, big pot and a big, big blow for Andrew Feldman.
JK Queen.
Well, that's a bit of a flop.
Oh, we're going to see fireworks here. Tom Dwan has flopped the flush, but Ivy's got the ace of diamonds.
And he's got the top pair. Poor Mike Matusow with the 3rd best hand right now and drawing pretty well dead.
Mike Matusow bets 4,200. Phil Ivey just calls. Action on Tom Dwan. Well, he's putting a lot of chips in the middle right now. Obviously, Matusow gets out of the way.
Well, Phil puts a big re-raise in with the black chips, not messing around.
Yeah, Ivy has essentially moved Tom Dwan all in. Tom Dwan is called.
Phil needs to catch. Doesn't hit the turn, doesn't hit the river, and Tom Dwan's going to double up against Phil.
And just like that, Superman is human.
Hello and welcome to London for the 4th series of the FullTiltPoker.com $1 million cash game, where so far the chips have been flying around the table. We're hoping for much more of the same in this show as well, as we hand you straight up to your commentators.
It's the FullTiltPoker.net $1 million cash game. I'm David Tuckman alongside Gary Jones. Button in front of Phil Ivey. He's our big winner today so far, up $67,900. And it folds around to Durr. Actually, no. Pardon me. How about Chris Ferguson? Excuse me. He's going to raise us up to 1,800 with the ace 10 of clubs.
Well, he's been so quiet so far today. I'm not surprised you didn't see him.
I forgot he was there.
Looks like he's going to get a call from Phil.
Now, Phil calling on the button. He has to know he's behind.
Oh, he does. He's calling because he's got position. He's got half a hand.
I mean, does he just think that he can outplay Chris Ferguson?
He thinks that if there's nothing on the board for Chris, he's likely to be able to take it away from him.
Cool.
Well, Feldman's going to call as well.
3 players.
And when you get an early position raise from somebody like Chris Ferguson, pocket 6 is there. It's the exact hand you want, right?
Exactly.
7 queen.
Not now, but 5 hours from
Well,
now, kind of thing.
no extra pairs for anyone, but there are 2 clubs for Chris.
I mean, I'm not terrible.
Yeah, nothing there for Ivy, but it's not a bad flop for Andrew Feldman either. He flops 2 pair.
Yeah, only really a queen he's likely to be worried about here. Of course, you could also be worried about the fact that Chris Ferguson's raised out of first position. He could have any kind of pair.
Yeah, obviously Chris Ferguson could have a big pair in his hand, but at the same time you wouldn't put him on a 7. And you think, okay, well, there's only one overcard out there to my 6s.
But if he calls, he's going to be out of position. He doesn't know what's going to come on the turn in the river. And even if he is winning, a queen would put him behind as well.
There's lots of action.
And for the people at home wondering, what is Ivy calling with? Well, actually, for me, what is Ivy calling with?
Ivy's basically doing what we call floating one. He's calling with position. He wants to see what the reaction is from Chris on the turn. He knows there's quite a few hands that he could be betting with there. And he's also calling to catch a jack, which is particularly fortunate for him. All he could actually catch there was a jack that wasn't a club.
I mean, the people at home, it probably looks like Phil Ivey just got lucky here. But let's say a deuce fell on the turn, deuce of diamond, something like that. Was Ivy going to raise and take it away?
That's what he's going to be trying to do. I think Chris might check call on the turn, or he might even fire again. Here comes Chris again.
Well, Chris doesn't play many hands, but when he plays hard. And he's going to try to represent, remember, he raised under the gun, so he's going to try to represent that big pocket pair.
Phil, who's caught a card, might think it's a bad card almost for him because it might keep him involved. Another fire from Chris here. You know, Phil's got to know all he's really beating in this spot is a bluff. And this is Chris Ferguson. He doesn't bluff that often out of first position. But
Raise. 30,000.
Phil Ivey's going to see where he's at. Ferguson, by the way, has picked up more outs. He could catch a king as well now. Ivy raises it up to $30,000. Now, we've seen Ivy bluff a few times, but the table has only seen Ivy turn over the goods. And if we rewind this back at last season, when Ivy won a huge monster pot against Chris Ferguson, how much of that is going on in Chris Ferguson's head?
Probably an awful lot.
Ferguson always deliberate about every decision he makes at the poker table, obviously thinking this one through. If he calls 20,000 here, what happens on the river? Andrew Feldman watching on. Now, pot is 55,100. Action on Chris Ferguson.
I think he could do anything of all three plays in this spot.
Phil Ivey never taking his eyes off Chris Ferguson.
Well, here's the big replay from Chris Ferguson.
And he's going to...
For those that couldn't see him, I think there's some blacks in there as well. There are two blacks at the bottom. That is a re-raise of 60,000 more.
And the one thing about Chris Ferguson, he doesn't play many hands, but the ones he plays them strong. He's playing this like he has aces.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's playing it as if he's got aces. He's trying to manoeuvre Phil off a queen. As it happens, he's trying to manoeuvre Phil off a jack, but he thinks Phil's probably got a queen in this spot. I think it would be an inspirational call if Phil can make this one. I can't see how we can think his jack's good.
I mean, we've seen Ivy make great calls against Dwan, against Antonius, but can he do this against Ferguson?
I think he'd have to push. I don't think he can make a call.
Pass.
He lays it down.
And look at that.
Wow, Phil gets out the way, and Chris plays that one some real heart. Fantastic play by Chris. And that puts him up over 80,000. A couple of fantastic removes by Chris Ferguson.
And we take a look here. Chris Ferguson on top of the leaderboard now, up $81,600. Tom Dwan in second place, up $62,000. Phil Ivey dips a little bit, still up $32,000. But our big losers, Patrick Antonius and Andrew Feldman, each down over $80,000.
To get started, one player is made the nominated dealer or button. Then the two players to the left post the small and big blinds. These are force bets to get the action started. The big blind is always double the small, but unlike a tournament, the blinds rarely change. However, they are sometimes increased to spice up the action. We start here with $300 and $600. There's also an ante of $100 per player, which must be paid if they want to play in a hand. Once the blinds and antes are posted, everyone is dealt two cards. We have a round of betting. Then three cards are placed face up on the table, called the flop. These are the community cards for all the players to use. Then we have another round of betting, after which the fourth card, the turn, is placed in the middle. This is followed by some more betting and the last community card, the river. Then we finish off with a final round of betting. The best 5-card hand takes the money.
Buttons in front of Mike the Mouth Matisow. Alan Cunningham.
I guess we're about 100 short.
First to act. We're 5-handed right now, which should actually pick up the action a little bit, shouldn't it?
It should. People are going to have to mix it up a little bit. They're going to have to play lower cards, and that's going to create some action.
21.
And it didn't take very long.